Hey everyone, welcome back to Adventures with Edna. I'm Chris. Chances got the weekend off, but today we're going to Cars and Coffee. Nope, no we're not. Chance did a good job on that tailgate. So the plan was to go to Cars and Coffee today. If you saw the short I posted yesterday, then you already know where this is leading. We're changing transmissions again. So ever since I put this transmission in, we've been running it for almost a year now, and it kind of seems like it seemed like it had a couple problems the first couple of weeks it was in, and then they just kind of magically resolved themselves. But at the same time, it's also kind of slowly declined over the last year. Kind of seems like as I've driven it, gone from like occasionally you'd hear it grind a little bit in gear to doing it most of the time to suddenly getting this weird pop in first gear to dropping out of second. It suddenly started making the same noise that it was making about a year ago when I first put it in, where it seemed like as soon as I would leave the driveway, it would act funny for the first few miles. The driveway I have here is really, really steep. I don't know if that's related to it, but it seems like that's when it wants to do it. So I don't know why. Could also be reversing it before I pull that out of the driveway. I feel like I shouldn't drive it anymore until we put a transmission in it. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in the used transmission that I have that has not been rebuilt. The only issue with it is that it's got 10 pounds of old grease and dirt stuck to it, which I'd really rather not put it in that way, so we might try to clean it up a little bit before it goes in. Also, I still have not replaced the battery in Venom, so Edna's my only transportation at the moment. So I kind of prefer not to do a transmission swap when I already have a vehicle down, but I don't feel like I have a choice because I can put a transmission in it without spending any money versus new battery for Venom. What we're going to do is we're going to pull the carpet out, we're going to pull the floor out, we're going to take the top off the transmission and just get a look at it first. I don't see there being a fix, but we could at least figure out what's wrong with it before we pull it out. So let's do that. No telling what we're going to find when we pull this off. I'm fairly certain it's in neutral. Oh, gear win. There we go. Stuff must have hit it because this thing's got beat up. Get a magnet for our next trick. Just gonna fish around with the magnet, see if we find anything. Nope. chunk of something. Don't know what it is. There's some tiny things on there. Quite a bit of metallic. A good bit of just metallic buildup in the bottom. All right, next one I want to look at is, I'm pretty sure that this gear is not engaging for some reason, and that's why I have no speedometer. So we're going to take that out next and look at that after we get some pliers. Why isn't it wanting to come out? There we go. The gear came off, like I suspected. If you look, you can see right there, that gear right there is supposed to be back here. Look, I can even move it. Must have been a broken clip. Yeah, see, now that's where it's supposed to be. So that explains why we have no speedometer. But it doesn't explain the loud noise. Or does it? Either way, it's coming out. Alright, so I'm out here at T3 Detailing right now. This business is owned by a friend of mine, Ian, and he is going to let us use his heated pressure washer to clean this new transmission off, or new old transmission, to get some of this grease off this thing and hopefully have it cleaned up in here and looking good before we put it in the truck. Well, that's impressive. It's all coming off. It's all coming off. All right, we're all back at home now. The transmission is nice and clean because it was filthy. But so special thanks to my buddy Ian at T3 Detailing for hooking me up with the heated pressure washer. When I did that other transmission, it took hours to clean, but I did this in less than 15 minutes. But it's kind of late in the day now. Plus it looks like it might rain. I don't know. It's not calling for any, but I feel some drops. So we're going to pick up this project tomorrow because, like I said, it's late in the day, and we still got to pull the other transmission out before we put the new one in. So I'm going to put some tools away and get cleaned up because I am filthy. Really filthy. Heated pressure washer is all fun and games until it ends up all over you. So, we're all done for now. I'll see you in the morning. All right, we're back. So I did a few things while off camera because I figured I've got so many transmission videos on this channel already that nobody really needed to see me taking another transmission out. So here we are. Got the new one ready to go in. The only thing we really have to do is we're going to take that out and put it in this one because it kind of makes for a good handle when you're pulling it in and out. If you have an extra one of these, I really recommend using this. The only other thing we need to take off of this one is take the transmission mount off and move it over to this one, and then it'll be pretty much ready to go in. I just got to drain the old fluid out of it. It still has a little bit in there. I think it's got a little bit of water in there as well. So we're going to get all that out and put new fluid in, but we're not going to put the new fluid in until it's ready to come out, or until it's in. All right, so she's in, mostly. I just have to button it up by putting the bolts back in, the rear mount bolted to the cross member, and then take the jack out from under the engine down there, and then throw the drive shaft back in. Then we'll put some fluid in it and take it for a test drive. Put fluid in this, and then seal the top on. A little wet under there. So the gears in this one are pretty good. It's got a little bit of areas where it rusted, probably because it sat for 30 years. But it seems to shift nicely. Well, so the camera died. It overheated, and I had to bring it in. So I went ahead and got the fluid in here. It's got brand new 600 weight gear oil that I get through early Ford V8 sales. I think it's $8.99 a quart, if I remember right. And it holds about a quart and a half, maybe a little less. So now all we got to do is just put some silicone on here, put the top on, and then we'll take it for a test drive. Well, we got to put it back on the ground first because the back end's still up in the air. We're going to use the weirdly bent shifter. I typically reuse the original shifter out of Edna because I like that it's nice and straight. This one's got a weird curve to it. We're going to stick with it for the moment and see what we think of it. It needs to be painted, actually, but I'm not going to do that today. It'd be nice to have a nice chrome one, but I don't know anybody around South Carolina that does chroming, like decorative chroming. All right, line up the forks, which are not even close. There we go. Really excited about the idea of the speedometer working again. Throw the inspection cover on. All right, going to take a minute to clean up these tools, put some of these bolts away, put Edna back on the ground, and then we'll see if she feels like going somewhere. Describe time. I'm going to start out in neutral, see what happens. I forgot there's no floor in here, so there's no pedal, it's just a rod. First gear. Hold on, we're just rolling. It normally sits about here where the pedal is, but all I've got is this little right there of the pedal. All right, let's see. A little bit of a high-speed hum. Well, we at least got 2 gears and reverse. Feel that heat coming through the floor. This shift ball seems tiny. Oh, the speedometer's not hooked up behind there. Give me a second, I'm gonna hook that up. Alright, we should have a speedometer now, which is good. We're going out on the main road to see what we got out there. Ooh, I saw it, Joe. First time that's moved in months. that out. I hadn't seen that move in months. Oh man, I didn't realize I can't go left here. I hurt your eyes. Seems pretty good other than that one downshift we did that didn't do that good. But the shifter feels good. Clicking into gear nicely. It hasn't fallen out of gear. I dropped out a second. Just checking. All right, so I would call that a successful test. That transmission has not pulled a car in at least 30 years based on the story I got out of it. So I feel pretty good about that. Obviously, it's probably going to take a few days worth of driving it to kind of know what all it's going to do. It did drop out a second one time, but I wasn't overly concerned about that because the place that it did drop out a second is pretty steep downhill and then a steep uphill when you make the turn. So it's kind of a funny place to drive anyway. But yeah, so it ended up being a good transplant. I'm going to have to tear into the rebuilt transmission and find out why it was actually making the noise. I have a speedometer again, which I'm really happy about because I haven't had one in months. So all I've got left to do is just clean up some tools, put the floor and the carpet back in, and Edna's good to go. So maybe next week we'll make it to, maybe next month we'll make it to Cars and Coffee. And hopefully next time Chance will get to go too. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share it with your friends. That really helps the channel out a lot. Feel free to comment. Let us know what you thought of it. We love reading all the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.